Welcome or welcome back to Believing Thomas. My name is Maeve and I'm so happy that you're here. I make videos exploring topics related to Christian apologetics, the soul, and human flourishing. And so, if any of that interests you, then you are in the right place. Today, I want to talk a little bit about meaning. So, in my last video, Is Faith Blind? We talked a bit about the five main consequential, really fundamental questions that go into worldview formation. And one of those was a question of meaning. Why are we here? Every single worldview answers that question in some way or other. So, different worldviews answer this question very differently. Some worldviews hold that meaning is something concrete, something outside of ourselves, something to pursue. Some worldviews hold that we create meaning for ourselves, and meaning is whatever we form it into. And some worldviews hold that life is ultimately meaningless, and that the pursuit of meaning is unfounded, a distraction, and that this life is ultimately pointless or even absurd. That's where you get into realms of like nihilism, absurdism, and stuff like that. But no matter someone's answer, we are all forced to deal with this question of meaning. Does life have meaning? In every era, in every age, in every culture, we as humans have gazed at the sky and wondered about it, wondered about ourselves, wondered about this life that we find ourselves in, and wondering what the meaning of it all is, wondering what the point of it all is. And today, we incessantly seek out meaning in everything that we do, whether it's our relationships, our work, our duties and obligations, our hobbies and aesthetics. We create, we philosophize, and we look for meaning in the pain and suffering that we experience and that the people around us experience. Whether we acknowledge it or not, we are meaning seeking machines as humans. We all strive toward that which we feel would give our life meaning, purpose, a point, fulfillment. Seeking meaning is a core drive of the human species and a core element of the human experience. When I think of humans' core drives, core needs, my mind goes to the very obvious. So I think of air, for example. We find, quite literally within ourselves, the innate need for breathable air. We have this need, and we also have the fulfillment of this need, finding that we have both lungs that are adept at inhaling, processing, and exhaling this air, as well as a breathable atmosphere that's made up of, a precise ratio of oxygen and nitrogen. We have an innate need for water and food, and we find the fulfillment of this need in a world that is full of both. We have an innate drive for reproduction, and we find ourselves in a world where that is possible. We find that we are social creatures with an innate drive to collaborate with, care for, have fun with, work with other people. And we suffer physically and mentally when we are too isolated. And we find ourselves living in a world where we are surrounded by similarly social creatures who want the same. All of our core needs and core drives in this life are met with something real and concrete to fulfill it. And that's not to say that just because we have a drive or a need that is going to be met 100% of the time, right? Like there are people struggling with hunger, with loneliness, etc. The point is that we do have these core needs and drives, and that we also find the answer to these core needs and drives as well. There is real fulfillment or the possibility of fulfillment of each of these things. The experience of hunger is met with food. The experience of thirst is met with water. The experience of tiredness is met with sleep. The experience of wanting to be with others is met with social creatures and the possibility of real relationship. And the experience of meaning is met with meaninglessness, not meaningfulness. And I could potentially hear someone saying, the drives for water and reproduction, those are about survival. The drive for meaning is not. And while I don't necessarily agree with that statement on its face, I get what that person would be saying. So let's just say I grant it for the sake of argumentation. Let's take another look at that statement, because the implication is that the drives for water and the drives for reproduction are met within the world because they are required to survive. In that sense, they are more important or they are superior to the drive for meaning. Baked into that statement is the assumption that life is more meaningful than non life. If life has no meaning, what makes life actually better than death? What makes the survival and the perpetuation of the species more meaningful and better than the species' demise? Why does evolution, why does the world have this drive to survive rather than be neutral or try to disappear? Let's look at it another way. Theologian, writer, and former atheist C.S. Lewis has a really interesting quote where he says, "If the whole universe has no meaning, then we should never have found out that it has no meaning. Just as if there were no light in the universe, we should never know it was dark. Dark would be a word without meaning." And I think this hits on something really important. So to flesh it out a little bit more, think of your favorite color. We have the concept and experience of color because we were born with cones and rods in our eyes and a complex connection between what's going on in our eyes to our brain and whatnot. I know this is super sciencey language, please bear with me. But we have these cones and rods and this connection between our eyes and our brain that allows us to perceive color. If we did not have those cones and rods, then we would have no experience of color. So if blue is your favorite color, then the word blue or color would mean nothing. Think about this in terms of meaning, like we've been talking about. We all have an experience of meaning. We all seek meaning. We all experience meaningful things. We innately know that the love that we have for our spouse, for example, is meaningful, even if it's portrayed as ultimately just a biological drive to reproduce. We know that the love that we have for our spouse has its own merits and its own value, its own wholeness to it. We experience and know that the betrayal of a friend is meaningful. We know that the pain that we experience or that someone that we love is experiencing is meaningful. We know that our hopes and dreams and the emotions that we have are meaningful. We have this innate knowledge that this life has got to mean something. There has to be more than what we see, because each of us are more than what we see on the outside. We all live in one big world, but inside each of us is a whole inner world of our own. Within ourselves resides these metaphorical cones and rods that allows us to see meaning. If meaning were not real, we should have no concept of it, no pervasive and profound experience of it, either within ourselves or throughout human history. If meaning were not real, we would have no reason to fear its absence, and we should not see that we suffer psychologically and physically in its absence, but we do see that. And as we think about meaning, I think it's really critical to address something. This question of does life have meaning? It goes a lot deeper than an abstract philosophical concept. When we're asking, does life have meaning? We're also quietly asking, do I have meaning? Do I mean something? Is there a purpose to me being here, existing as I do in this moment? When I experience something as being meaningful, is it? Is there real meaning to the love that I have for others, the pain that I experience, my fears and hopes? At the end of the day, when we're asking, does life have meaning? We're asking, does my life mean something? In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, there lies within a verse the statement, "He has put eternity into man's heart," referring to God. This is pointing to the fact that as a human species, we know that there is something beyond us. We know that there is more than just what meets the eye. And whether we want to look at it or not, we know that there is something bigger than us, bigger than ourselves in this life. That this life is not just flesh and blood, not just the material world. There's a reason that humans have this tireless interest and this pursuit of meaning. It's not because it's some sort of lie or some sort of distraction or whatnot. It's because it's real and because we're built for it. It is a core human drive because it's something that's meant to be fulfilled. And if you're watching this, I just want to say that not only does life have meaning, but your life has meaning. Your existence, your experiences, your past, present, and future, All of it matters immensely and truly. All of it is meaningful. You are meaningful. You don't have to numb or gaslight yourself into the belief that the meaning that you experience, that you seek, is somehow hollow, because the opposite is true. I know that this has been a little bit shorter of a video. I just really wanted to talk about this. Please leave me your thoughts down below. I would love to hear them. If you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. And if you liked it, please consider giving it a like, sharing, subscribing. It means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next video. Much love.